Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Talk of the Town with me, Lynn About Town, Lynn Positon, and I am here in sunny Clearwater, Florida, broadcasting from the WTAN studio in downtown Clearwater. And I have a wonderful guest today, my good friend Corey Trammell. Am I saying your name right? Not Trammell? Trammell?
That is one of the most
One of the
popular
ways?
ways to say it, yes.
All right. Well, I'm a Jersey girl. I don't think I would run
Oh, that
it.
would be fine.
That would
In
be
the
fine.
South, it's Trammell. I go with either one.
All right, there you go. I figure if it was a Louisiana girl, they'd say Corey Trammell, but you're getting Jersey.
Well, I tell people my football coach in high school never got it right once a whole for a year, so I'm pretty okay with anything close.
He probably called you trampoline.
Tramwell.
Hey,
Tramwell
Tramwell. Oh
and
my
all
God, he
kinds of
added a
things.
W. That's funny. Well, Corey is a local Clearwater guy now, but he has a very great past and story and his contribution to our country, the armed services, the amazing firefighters of the world. There's so much to learn from Corey, and we're going to ask lots of questions. So I would hope that you guys tune in and you get your friends to tune in because it's going to be an exciting show. I want to acknowledge my company, Consumer Energy Solutions, who sponsors the show and allows me to come on and meet good guys and bring good news and good guys to everyone. So thank you, CES, Consumer Energy Solutions.
In my career, the fire department evolved a lot. So it started to take on hazardous materials incidents. It started to take that very seriously, which became a very technical field within the fire
Very
department.
specific, right?
Yeah, because it's
Skill
a
sets
big risk.
different.
Yeah, and you have to know a lot of stuff, and there were guys that really specialized in it, specialized equipment, specialized way to handle it, and that we took on because we were going to be at the scene anyway.
Sure, so then they have you and they probably send you for training. You got certain trainings, right?
Exactly, over and over and over,
Over and
again,
over.
all the time to brush up on it. And then the next one that came was confined space rescue became a big part of our thing because they would have people that, let's say a city worker's down in the sewer working and he goes down. And how do you get in there and get
Right.
him, and how do you do it safely and get out? Or guys are trenching to put cables down and it caves in, and you'll hear about it every once in a while. And these are very highly technical things of how to do these kind of rescues with ropes and rigging and all that kind of stuff, or somebody falls in a well or whatever, that you have to train on over. They happen rarely, maybe, where you're at.
But they happen.
And you have to be perfect on the day it happens. So
That's
it's kind
right.
of scary.
That's right.
So now you have firefighting and hazardous materials responses and confined space rescue. And then, because those fire stations are scattered all around town, it became apparent that it would help if they responded on medical calls too. Now, when you have a medical emergency like a heart attack or someone's not breathing, you have a minute or
That's right.
two makes a big difference,
That's right.
So now, in our particular case, there's a hospital at one end of San Mateo and another end, like Clearwater. There's a couple hospitals around. There's some ambulances around. But they're not within 2 minutes of every house in Clearwater,
No.
right? But there's a lot more fire stations around. So they said, look, if we put some EMTs and paramedics on each fire engine, someone will get there sooner. And at least, even though we have a limited amount of equipment, at least be able to stabilize a person and help with first aid and that sort of thing much faster.
So it sounds like you're basically telling us that you lived through the evolution or the start of the first responder.
Yeah, it's very interesting that my career kind of lined up on that.
Right in there.
That to see all of that going along.
Yeah.
And I went from firefighter to all these things. I have my issues with it. That's a lot of what we call hats to wear. That's a lot of
Yes.
skills for one person to be excellent at all of them. Is a lot to ask for.
It's true. And it's not just
training wise.
Right. And it's not, when you say that, you're saying it very lightly, but required to be excellent at all of them, which is
Right.
like accountably
Right.
responsible. And that's that's very
Liability
different.
wise for
That's
your own
right.
your own safety wise, the safety of your coworkers. I started to notice the burden of it because I like to be I always prided myself on being very, very good at what I do. And it got to a point where it's like, wow, there was more required training that will even fit in around the job. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. And then there's other parts of the job on top of it. And I just felt like it was starting to get spread a little thin,
Yeah.
right?
I'm sure if
know-
there's any firefighters listening, they're nodding.
They may be the older ones. The younger ones kind of come in and they probably just
It's
like
what
first
it
take
is.
that's the way it always was.
This is the way it is. If you want the job, this is the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and a lot of times the newer ones coming in have a lot of the medical experience, which is a very technical.
Right from the get-go, though,
Right,
right?
so they
Yeah.
at least got that one out of the way,
Right.
right? They can learn how to fight fire. That's pretty easy, one of those four.
Right.
And they can leave hazmat to someone else maybe. But it's, as a fire officer, I had to know a lot about each of them. And you had to make sure that your crew was drilled up and proficient in each of them. And it's a tough, was the tough part. Not doing them, but making sure you're proficient at all time and training all the time. It's a lot, that's a lot of different hats to wear.
Yeah. Now, you just mentioned something. You said your crew. What we didn't say, and we should say, and I'm sure Corey will be very humble, but Corey wasn't just a firefighter. What was your career and your history with San Mateo?
I was a fire captain most of my career, which is in my department and most departments is in charge of a station, and a station will have a district. So when you see out here and you see engine E45, that's engine. I'll clear that. The engine is the one that pumps the water at the fire.
Right.
Okay. The truck is the one that puts the ladders up and opens up the building and let it feel. So that's a T45 and E45. I know that's station 45, and one of those captains on one of those two runs that station, and they have a district around their station. And so that's what I did most of my career. I was acting battalion chief for a year also, which actually runs what we call a platoon. So now everybody on duty today has a chief that runs them.
Okay.
And then up above that is administrative management guys.
Okay. Well, that's big. I am